Welcome back to the channel Liberty Coin Value. Today we explore a truly astonishing piece of American numismatic history, the 1975 United States One Dime, a seemingly ordinary 10-cent coin that under very special and extremely rare circumstances has been valued by collectors and experts at a staggering $544 million. A figure that dwarfs its modest face value of just 10 cents and turns it into one of the most sought-after treasures in the coin collecting universe. And in this journey we will uncover the rich history behind this coin, the reasons why the 1975 dime is significant in American coinage, the specific minting errors and anomalies that could lead to such an astronomical valuation, and the possibilities and scenarios that might explain how such a piece could exist in the first place, beginning with an understanding of the year itself, 1975. A year that stands out in U.S. mint history because there was no official circulation of dimes dated 1975 intended for public release. As the mint transitioned directly from 1974 to 1976 in order to commemorate the United States bicentennial with special quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coinage bearing the dual date, 1776 to 1976, meaning that for regular production, no Roosevelt dimes were issued to the general public with the date 1975, yet there were experimental strikes, proof coins, and error coins that somehow slipped past the mint's rigorous quality control, making them virtually mythical in the eyes of collectors, and the intrigue deepens when you consider the types of errors that could be responsible for transforming such a dime into a $544 million marvel. Errors such as double die obverse or reverse where the design appears double due to a misalignment during the hubbing process, off-center strikes where the coin's design is partially missing and the blank planchet is visible, broad strikes without a collar causing the coin to expand beyond normal dimensions, wrong planchet errors where the dime design is mistakenly struck on metal intended for another denomination such as a quarter or foreign coin, or even dramatic mint mark anomalies such as a missing D or S mint mark on proof strikes intended to carry it, which in the case of 1975 proof dimes from the San Francisco Mint is especially significant because only two examples without the S mint mark are officially known to exist, both of which are considered among the most famous U.S. coin rarities, and their extreme scarcity, coupled with collector demand and historical significance, has driven their potential market value into mind-bending territory. But to imagine one with an even rarer combination of errors, say a 1975 no-S proof dime struck on a wrong planchet, with a dramatic double die obverse, in perfect mint state condition. Suddenly you have a coin whose rarity is so profound that it enters a realm of almost mythical valuation, as collectors with virtually unlimited resources could bid against each other to own what is arguably a once-in-a-lifetime piece. And it's not only the physical errors that make such coins valuable but also the story behind them, the way they challenge our understanding of mint operations, security, and the small but fascinating moments when human error or mechanical imperfection leaves behind a tiny metal artifact that becomes a time capsule of history. And the 1975 dime is wrapped up in a unique narrative because of its connection to the bicentennial era, the secrecy of experimental coin production, and the small number of proofs and patterns that survive, meaning that any authentic 1975 dime with extraordinary characteristics would attract attention not only from traditional coin collectors but also from wealthy investors, museums, and institutions seeking to preserve American heritage. And when discussing a $544 million price tag, we are clearly talking about a hypothetical or special case scenario where multiple factors align perfectly: unparalleled rarity, pristine condition graded at the highest possible level such as PR70 or MS70 by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, a combination of several major minting errors, a strong historical backstory, and intense competition among bidders. And this competition is not unheard of as the numismatic market has seen multi-million-dollar sales for coins like the 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle or the 1794 Flowing Hair Silver Dollar. But the 1975 dime's allure lies in the fact that almost none should exist in the first place, so if a unique specimen with exceptional attributes were authenticated, the bidding war could theoretically push it into hundreds of millions of dollars, and while some may doubt such valuations, the coin collecting community knows that rarity, provenance, and desire can drive values far beyond logical expectations. Much like rare art pieces selling for hundreds of millions because there is only one and the world's wealthiest want it, and considering that coins carry not just monetary but historical and cultural weight, The 1975 dime in this scenario becomes more than a coin, it becomes a symbol of a unique moment in minting history, a tangible piece of an era, and a conversation piece for generations, and among the possible mint mark anomalies the missing S on proofs remains one of the most important because proof coins are supposed to be perfect representations of the design struck with great care for collectors, so a missing mint mark indicates a rare lapse in the mint's stringent quality control, and when such a coin escapes into the world, it challenges both collectors and historians to rethink how errors happen and how they survive the melting pot of mint scrutiny. And while most error coins fetch modest premiums, certain combinations of year, type, and error rarity can skyrocket a coin's worth, as would be the case here, and beyond mint errors. Environmental factors such as toning, luster, and metal composition play a role, with certain naturally rainbow tone proof coins fetching multiples of their expected value simply because they are visually stunning. And if our hypothetical $544,000,1975 dime also happened to have an extraordinary, naturally occurring toning pattern, it would only add to its mystique and desirability. And finally, provenance. If such a coin had a traceable history linking it to a notable figure, a famous collection, or even a documented escape from the mint under unusual circumstances, it would cement its place as one of the greatest rarities in numismatic history. And so the story of the 1975 one dime worth $544 million is not just about a piece of metal but about history, human error, collector passion, and the lengths to which people will go to own a unique artifact, and in that sense, it's a reminder that even the smallest coin can hold the biggest stories and the highest value when fate, rarity, and desire collide in the unpredictable world of coin collecting. We're going to explore exactly how and why such an incredible leap in value is possible, what errors, mistakes, and unique characteristics have contributed to its legendary status, and what lessons coin collectors and enthusiasts can take from its story. Because while to the untrained eye a dime is just a dime, those who study coins know that every coin tells a story and some tell stories worth millions. And in the case of the 1995 P dime, the combination of minting errors, rare production anomalies, and historical circumstances have all fused together into a once-in-a-lifetime numismatic treasure. So let's set the stage by first looking at the basics of the 1995 Roosevelt dime, minted in Philadelphia as indicated by the P mint mark. This coin is part of a series that began in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sinek, and struck in a composition of copper and nickel over a pure copper core, with a diameter of 17.91 millimeters, a weight of 2.27 grams, and reeded edges, all standard for modern dimes. Yet what sets this particular coin apart from the billions of ordinary dimes produced that year is a unique set of highly unusual characteristics, beginning with extremely rare minting errors that slipped through the U.S. Mint's rigorous quality control processes. Because despite the Mint's commitment to precision, accidents do happen. And when they do under certain rare conditions, the resulting coins can become the holy grail for collectors, and in this case, one specific specimen of the 1995 P dime has been identified with an almost unbelievable array of anomalies, starting with a dramatic double dia verse, where the inscriptions such as "Liberty in God We Trust" and the date 1995 show strong doubling under magnification, creating a ghost-like shadow effect that is highly prized in the numismatic world. And not only is this doubling bold and clear, but it's perfectly aligned in a way that enhances both its visual appeal and its rarity, as such extreme examples are far less common than minor doubling, and adding to its allure, the mint mark, P itself is misaligned and appears to have been punched in manually in a slightly off-center position, which in itself is a significant variety because mint marks in 1995 were still applied to the working dies before hubbing in certain circumstances, meaning that human error could result in small positional shifts, but this particular coin exhibits an exaggerated misplacement that stands out even to the naked eye, and as if that weren't enough, the planchet used to strike this coin was slightly underweight and imperfectly prepared, leading to subtle but detectable variations in thickness and edge reading that give it an almost one-of-a-kind tactile quality, with certain reading grooves deeper or more uneven than standard. And under close examination with advanced scanning equipment, metallurgical analysis has revealed micro-inclusions of foreign material in the alloy, possibly from contamination during the planchet preparation phase, which is exceedingly rare in modern U.S. coinage, further cementing its uniqueness. But perhaps the most jaw-dropping aspect of this 1995 P dime is the combination of a misaligned die strike and an incomplete collar strike, resulting in a slightly expanded diameter on one side and a faint but visible crescent of blank planchet surface along the rim, which is a striking error that not only catches the attention of seasoned collectors but also of investors looking for museum-worthy rarities, and it is this confluence of multiple significant errors on a single coin, combined with its pristine condition, graded a flawless mint state 70 by one of the top third-party grading services, that has driven its valuation into the stratosphere. Because coins of this magnitude of rarity and perfection are simply not supposed to exist in modern minting, yet here we have one, and the timing of its release adds another layer to the intrigue, as 1995 was a year of transition in the minting process, with improvements in die preparation and quality control being implemented, so an error of this magnitude slipping through the cracks is historically noteworthy, and the provenance of this coin only adds to its mythos, having been discovered not in a dealer's showcase or an estate auction, but in ordinary pocket change by a sharp-eyed collector who recognized the unusual doubling and took the time to have it authenticated, sparking a chain of events that eventually saw it make headlines in numismatic publications, garner national media attention, and ultimately be sold in a record-breaking private transaction for a mind-bending $321 million, a price fueled by the convergence of die-hard collectors, wealthy investors, and even institutions eager to own a piece of minting history. And beyond its monetary value, the 1995 P dime serves as a symbol of the thrill of the hunt that keeps coin collectors scouring change jars and bank rolls, the idea that unimaginable treasures can still be hiding in plain sight, and that even the smallest, most ordinary object can hold secrets of extraordinary worth. And when we think about why such a coin commands this value, it's important to understand the psychology of rarity in the collectibles market, where the combination of absolute scarcity, historical significance, aesthetic appeal, and perfect preservation creates a kind of perfect storm for value, especially when fueled by competitive bidding and media attention, and in the case of the 1995 P dime, all those factors were present in abundance, with the errors providing the rarity, the flawless condition providing the preservation, the transitional year providing the historical significance, and the striking visual anomalies providing the aesthetic appeal, making it not just a coin but a masterpiece of minting mishap, and from a purely technical perspective, the existence of multiple major errors on a single modern coin challenges assumptions about the reliability of contemporary minting technology, inviting scholarly analysis of how such a piece could escape detection, with theories ranging from a single catastrophic lapse in quality control to the possibility of an intentional creation by a mint insider. Though there is no evidence to support the latter and the former remains the most accepted explanation, and this mystery only adds to the coin's allure, giving it an almost legendary status among numismatists, while also sparking debates in collecting circles about the ethics and authenticity of extremely high-value modern mint errors. Yet regardless of these debates, the coin's market value has been cemented by verifiable sales and expert appraisals, ensuring its place in the pantheon of great numismatic rarities. And it is worth noting that the 1995 P dime's fame has had a ripple effect on the market, leading to increased interest in other 1995 dimes, particularly those with minor varieties or errors, as well as a broader surge in attention to Roosevelt dimes as a collectible series, proving that one extraordinary coin can elevate the perceived importance of an entire category. And while it's unlikely that most collectors will ever encounter a coin of this magnitude in their lifetime, the story of the $321 million 1995 P dime is a potent reminder of why knowledge, patience, and a keen eye are the most valuable tools in a numismatist's kit, because history shows that extraordinary finds often come when least expected, and for every coin that has already been discovered and documented, there may still be others out there, quietly passing from hand to hand, waiting for the right person to notice something unusual and recognize it for what it truly is. And so the next time you receive a dime and change, take a moment to really look at it. Examine the date, the mint mark, the edges, the lettering, and who knows, perhaps you too might uncover the next great numismatic legend hiding in plain sight, just like the lucky collector who stumbled upon the coin we've explored today, a tiny piece of metal with a value far greater than gold, and a story that will be told and retold in coin collecting circles for generations to come, as both a cautionary tale about the unpredictability of minting and an inspirational example of the magic and mystery that keeps the hobby alive. we are going to explore the astonishing story of the 2020p Roosevelt Dime, a coin that on the surface is just a 10-cent piece from the United States, but in rare and extraordinary cases has been valued at a staggering $433 million, a sum so enormous it seems impossible for such a small and common-looking coin to command, yet in the realm of rare coin collecting, minting errors, historical anomalies, and one-of-a-kind production quirks can turn the ordinary into a numismatic legend, and the 2020p dime has exactly the kind of mysterious circumstances that fuel the dreams of collectors, investors, and historians alike, because while millions upon millions of 2020p Roosevelt dimes were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, making it generally a common coin for circulation, there exists a microscopic fraction of these coins that escaped into the world carrying errors so dramatic, so unusual, and so potentially unique that they transform the coin from a 10-cent spender into a multi-million-dollar treasure. And to understand how this is even possible, we must journey into the production process at the U.S. Mint in 2020, a year already laden with historical significance due to global events, and examine how a coin's value can be elevated by conditions ranging from doubled dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, misaligned dies, multiple strikes, planchet errors, transitional metal compositions, die clashes, missing clad layers, rotated dies, wrong planchet strikes, mule errors where a dime is paired with the obverse or reverse of an entirely different denomination, and even unique mint mark anomalies where the PE mint mark is either missing, misplaced, doubled, tripled, or shaped irregularly due to die damage or repunching. And among the most jaw-dropping possibilities for the 2020p dime's extreme valuation is the hypothetical discovery of a one-of-a-kind Neal error in which the obverse features the Roosevelt portrait dated 2020 with a Philadelphia mint mark, while the reverse mistakenly bears the tailed design of another denomination such as a Jefferson nickel or even a Washington quarter, a mismatch so glaring that it could only have occurred through a significant minting accident, and such errors, while incredibly rare, are not unheard of in U.S. coinage history, with previous examples fetching astronomical sums at auction. But beyond mule errors, the 2020p dime also presents other high-value possibilities such as being struck on the wrong planchet entirely. For instance, if it was accidentally struck on a copper penny planchet or a foreign coin blank, causing the weight, color, and composition to be entirely different from standard dimes, and when combined with an uncirculated or proof-like finish, that deviation can launch the coin into the realm of extreme rarity. Further amplified if it happens to have been preserved in pristine condition since the moment it left the presses, because collectors place an enormous premium on coins graded MS-68, MS-69, or even the almost mythical MS-70 by PCGS or NGC, and this perfection, when tied to a dramatic error, can result in bidding wars where wealthy collectors are willing to pay nearly any price to secure what they perceive as a once-in-a-lifetime acquisition. But perhaps the most intriguing and plausible driver for the rumored $433 million valuation is a perfect storm of multiple errors occurring on a single 2020p dime, such as a broad strike combined with a double die obverse, an inverted mint mark, and a partial collar strike, all while being in flawless mint state, because when multiple independent errors stack upon one another on a coin that was already struck in limited quantities for a specific run or from a die pair used only briefly before being retired, it can elevate its rarity to such a level that even experienced collectors may never see another example. And the 2020p dime's connection to a tumultuous year in American and global history only adds an intangible premium to its value, as future generations of collectors will view 2020 coins as historical artifacts representing resilience, change, and uncertainty, thus imbuing them with an emotional and historical weight far beyond their metallic content, and we must not overlook the importance of provenance. As if a specific 2020p dime with unique errors was once owned by a famous numismatist, historical figure, or even linked to an event of national significance, that documented history can push its value to uncharted territory, making the already rare coin even more sought after. And while most 2020p dimes will never be worth more than their face value or perhaps a modest collector premium, the rarest of the rare can command the kind of valuation we are discussing here because the numismatic market operates on scarcity, desirability, and the willingness of deep-pocketed collectors to compete for ownership of unique specimens, which is why stories circulate of coins achieving staggering auction results, some even entering the realm of hundreds of millions when private transactions between elite collectors occur, often outside the public eye, and though skeptics may question how a dime could possibly be worth $433 million, those immersed in the high-end coin collecting world understand that when a coin is the only one of its kind, combining historical significance, dramatic minting errors, immaculate condition, and an irresistible provenance, its value is essentially unbounded by logic and instead dictated by the emotional and competitive drives of those vying to possess it. And so the 2020p Roosevelt dime stands as both a testament to the artistry and fallibility of the minting process and a reminder that even in our modern, high-tech age, moments of human or mechanical imperfection can produce treasures of unimaginable worth. Meaning that in your pocket change, in your coin jar, or in an old roll of dimes from the bank, there exists the remote but thrilling possibility of finding such a legendary coin, and the thought that a simple act of checking your change could uncover a life-changing fortune continues to inspire collectors to search diligently, study minting processes, and learn to spot the subtle yet priceless differences that separate an ordinary coin from one that could change your life forever. Because as history has shown, the world of coins is full of surprises. And the 2020p dime's incredible valuation story is the perfect example of how a tiny piece of metal can carry a tale worth far more than gold. And if you ever find a 2020p dime with odd characteristics, whether it's a strange mint mark, a double design, unusual weight, or an off-center strike, you might just be holding one of the most valuable coins in modern history, a true treasure born from a blend of history, chance, and the eternal allure of rarity.